It's been a long road to get here. The Fordham Rams were picked to finish 13th in the A10 this season. And for a while, it looked like it was headed that way. That was until the Rams surged ahead in a red-hot run in February, claiming the 9 seed and a first-round bye in the A10 tournament. Fordham's earned an extra day of rest. Now they have to see if they can do something with it. Their opening matchup comes against number 8 seeded Loyola Chicago. The Rams fell to the Ramblers earlier in the year, but with an 8-9 matchup today, it's anyone's guess who comes away smiling. You can throw away the regular season records. It all comes down to 40 minutes of basketball. It's Fordham versus Loyola Chicago. Welcome to the A10 tournament, live on WFUV Sports. Atlantic 10 Championship Basketball is here, our site, the Henrico Center in Virginia. It's Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. Hello everybody, Lou Orlando, Julia Moss. Fordham Women's Basketball has claimed the 9 seed and a first round bye in the A10 tournament. Not something that a lot of people expected. They were predicted to finish 13th in the A10 preseason poll. It was not always an easy path to get here. As late as January, 2-9 in conference, but you look at the month of February, a season-high 6-game winning streak capped off by an upset win at St. Joe's. They lose on senior day to LaSalle, one of the bottom feeders in the A10, maybe puts a little bit of a damper on things, but Fordham going into the A10 tournament playing about as good basketball as they've played all season long.
Well, Fordham has been all about surprises in the month of February leading up to this A10 tournament, and there's no time like right now. They have all the momentum that you could want for a team. Of course, you would like to end that season on a 7-game winning streak instead of winning 6 of their last 7, especially losing to LaSalle of all teams, as you mentioned, a bottom feeder of the A10. But I truly think that win against St. Joe's really showed what this team is capable of and can give them the confidence today to show that they can make an unpredictable run in this A10 tournament.
Well, Fordham is in the 8-9 matchup in the Atlantic 10 tournament, and that is the closest matchup that we'll have all tournament long. And when you look at the matchup on paper, it really feels that way. Fordham and Loyola Chicago, both 8-10 in conference. Loyola Chicago won the season matchup during the regular season, but you look at these two teams, the metrics, very similar opponents, tough to kind of pinpoint where the edges might be.
This is a true 8 versus 9 matchup, Lou. Sometimes you see 8 versus 9, but you know that one team has an edge over the other. Not the case today. There's barely any category that truly separates these teams from one another. They're very comparable in their offense and defense and how much they score and give up. But where the difference is between Fordham and Loyola is a journey to get those numbers. Loyola Chicago likes the 3 ball. Fordham does not. They try, but they typically get most of their points in the paint and in the mid-range. And they rank, in Loyola Chicago ranks 6 in A10 and 3-point field goals made. Unfortunately for Fordham, defending the 3 has really been the one Achilles heel on what's otherwise been a stellar defense this season. They rank 14th in the A10 in opposing 3-point percentage, so that's certainly going to be something Fordham focuses on today.
Talk about Loyola Chicago's success from 3 while Fordham's coming off a game where they allowed 23-pointers made to LaSalle. That was a program record for the Explorers, and it helped them to a 93-83 win at Rose Hill on senior day to spoil Fordham's regular season finale. But Fordham, as Coach Bridgette Mitchell would say, everyone's at 0-0 right now, so a blank slate and a chance to go on a run here in the A10 tournament. We're almost set for A10 championship basketball here from the Henrico Center. Before we do anything, let's send it over to our coach's sound with Bridgette Mitchell. That was until the Rams surged ahead in a red-hot run in February, claiming the 9 seed and a first-round bye in the A10 tournament. Fordham's earned an extra day of rest. Now they have to see if they can do something with it. Their opening matchup comes against number 8 seeded Loyola Chicago. The Rams
We apologize for some technical difficulties. Back with you from the Henrico Center, almost set for tip here from Virginia. And let's get a look at the starting lineups tonight for the 8-9 matchup in the Atlantic 10. Loyola Chicago, their starting point guard, Sam Gallinopoulos, named third team All A10, leads them with 13.3 points per game and 4.1 assists. Right behind her at shooting guard, Alyssa Fisher transfers over from St. Francis, Brooklyn, also averaging 13.3 a game, so those are the two scoring options. Tharana Hodge-Carr back in the lineup at small forward, and then a couple nice bigs, Allie Berg, the transfer from IUPUI, and Satori Tannen, their 6'2" center, an 18-point game against Fordham last time out. That's the starting five for Loyola Chicago. And Julie, as we talked about before this game, Sam Gallinopoulos, the one you really have to watch out for.
Absolutely. The numbers really just jump off the page at you. 11th in A10 in points per game, 10th in field goal percentage. So that really says quite a few things. One, that she is known as this team's primary scorer, but what's more important is that she shoots efficiently. We think about someone like Taylor Donaldson, who gets a lot of shots, but something about Taylor Donaldson that sometimes it's not as efficient as you'd really like. But with Sam Gallinopoulos, if the ball is in her hands and she's shooting, there's a good chance it's going in. And just to add to that, she also leads this team in assists per game. So she really has this team. She's a leader of this team in pretty much every facet you can imagine. So for Fordham, Sam Gallinopoulos is going to be the person that you're going to want to contain as much as possible.
The Fordham starting lineup led by Taylor Donaldson, the A10's leading scorer, named second team All A10 with 18 points per game. She's at the 3. At the 1 and 2, Mandy McGurk and Amy Hayford. Your center, Aminata Lee, the 6'4" forward. And Matilda Flood will stay in the starting lineup, slid in when Rose Nelson did not travel for personal reasons. Rose Nelson will play. There is no minutes limit on her, but Matilda Flood will stay in the starting lineup. So that's the 5 that Coach Bridgette Mitchell has been rocking with since the St. Louis game a couple weeks ago.
And listen, it's been working. This team is hot like they haven't been all season long. I'm sure Rose Nelson is going to get quite a bit of action today, and if there's something we know about this coaching staff and their strategy with a bench, it's that just because you're not starting does not mean you're not going to get minutes. This bench, pretty much everyone besides freshman Cassidy Mahaney really sees minutes in a consistent way. So for Rose Nelson, it's not a matter of starting or not. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if she gets as many minutes as we're used to seeing.
This Fordham offense has evolved a lot throughout the season, and what we've noticed the last month is it's gone from a two-man scoring group in Hayford and Donaldson to a full-out balanced attack. Aminata Lee playing her best basketball going into A10's. Rose Nelson, prior to a couple games off, had been playing her best basketball. Taya Davis is on her best stretch of the season, so you have now 4 or 5 legitimate scoring options, and that's the most that Fordham's had a balanced offensive attack really all season.
And really it confirms everything we've thought leading up to this, is that if Fordham can get someone besides Taylor Donaldson, besides Amy Hayford, that they can be really strong, because the defense has been there all season. It was just a matter of the offense getting there as well, and I think we're finally starting to see, as you mentioned, other scoring options come into play here, and it doesn't have to all be Taylor Donaldson. It doesn't all have to be Amy Hayford, and that's really fulfilled this team and made it just so much more complete on the court.
These two teams met on January 24th. Loyola Chicago came away with a 73-64 win, led by 20 points from Sam Gallinopoulos. But as head coach Bridgette Mitchell said to us before the game, both of us are 0-0 right now, a complete blank slate, and a chance to move on in the A10 tournament. Fordham, as Julia, you'll be happy to see, as well as our fans happy to hear back home, Fordham wearing their black uniforms with a thick maroon stripe down the side. Loyola Chicago, white jerseys, yellow outline on the maroon text. Loyola wins the tip. And it's them to start. Gallinopoulos up top in front of the A10 logo here at the Henrico Center. Hodge-Carr up top. McGurk giving her space. Hands off for Fisher. Fisher drops it but picks it back up. 15 on the shot clock. Swings left Berg. Berg picks up her dribble, straight on. Swings left for Fisher. Fisher, dribble drive inside, down the left lane, up and short. Gets her own rebound. Now it's slapped away. But Tannen there goes cross corner. Gallinopoulos for 3. It's good. Loyola Chicago up 3-0 early.
And if you're Fordham, that is everything you are trying to avoid early.
The Ramblers coming out in a full court press. Fordham will break it ahead to Hayford. Loyola Chicago up 3-0. Donaldson wide open, right wing. That three rolls out. Amina Lee, the offensive rebound, goes back up for two.
And on the other end of your Loyola, that's everything you're trying to avoid. A wide open three from Taylor Donaldson on the corner with a wide open rebound and putback from Amina Lee.
3-2 Loyola Chicago, 8:53 here in the first. Tannen left wing. We've got a foul off ball. It looked like maybe Matilda Flood trying to run through a screen. They'll call Amy Hayford instead, but the screen action drawing a call.
Sam Gallinopoulos running through both Matilda Flood and Amy Hayford. Really could have been called on either. Quite a bit of contact there.
8:48 in the first. Loyola Chicago a 1-point lead early in our 8-9 matchup. It's Fisher up top. Jabs, drives, goes back out. Berg straight on. Back to Fisher with 10 on the shot clock. Uses the Tannen screen. She's doubled up top. Lee rips it away. Fordham running 2-on-1. Lee down inside, goes up, can't finish. Hamer for the offensive rebound. Kicks out Donaldson straight on. Shot clock resets, 16 and ticking. McGurk delays in front of the half-court line. Donaldson right wing, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Uses the Lee screen, swings left, Hayford. Hayford drives, right lane, up with the right hand. It's no good. Lee, the offensive rebound, back up for another two. Fordham up 4-3.
Amina Lee off to a strong start so far under the boards.
Fordham, 3 offensive rebounds already. That's a metric we've been tracking now. 62nd in D1 basketball. Hodgkar swings right, Berg. Berg down to the free throw line, back for Hodgkar. Right elbow extended, works her way down. Donaldson spins around, but the shot whistled off. And the foul on the floor going against Donaldson.
Amina Lee there trying to secure the trap under the basket, double teaming, trying to get the reach and steal at the last second, but makes contact. And lucky for Fordham because Loyola Chicago made that layup.
Fordham leads 4-2, 7:45 to go. Hodgkar inside, reverse layup off glass and in, all even at 4. Loyola Chicago will stay in their full court press. Fordham breaks it ahead to Hayford. Hayford delays at the logo, now hands off McGurk. All even at 4, 7:25 in the first. Donaldson inside for McGurk, wide open, can't finish. Flood the offensive rebound, back out Donaldson, deep straight on three, it's good. Taylor Donaldson gives Fordham a 7-4 lead.
So far, Fordham is missing the easy shots and making the hard ones so far. Have missed quite a few layups, but making those tough contested shots, and a 3 there from Taylor Donaldson.
Well, Fordham pressuring up at the half-court line. It's corner for Fisher. Up to Berg, straight on Gallinopoulos. Drives after a hesitation, up with the left hand. It's Wild, and Lee the rebound. Here's Hayford weaving through, left lane, up with the left, and that will roll in. Fordham leads by 5, 6:42 in the first. Quite a bit of jump to their game to start. That's something head coach Bridgette Mitchell mentioned to us. She said they might have the edge in intensity in this game. That's been the case so far today. Fisher meanders left, hands off Hodgkar. Free throw line, wheeling around, stops, jabs, drives inside, it's off right. McGurk will move things up. Fordham a 5-point lead. Hands off right wing Donaldson. She's guarded tightly by Fisher. McGurk near corner. Uses the Lee screen, wheels around into the paint. Floater is blocked, and Loyola Chicago the basketball. Gallinopoulos ahead. Free throw line pulls up, and it's short. Flood has some trouble with the rebound. Here comes Berg to try and make a play on it. Matilda Flood will throw it off Berg, and out of bounds, Fordham ball.
High IQ play from Matilda Flood there, and we've seen her do that quite a few times this season. Understand the situation she's in. She's not getting that up the court in that situation, so just taking the time, knocking it off the foot of the defender, and Fordham gets the opportunity now to set up a full play.
Hayford and McGurk come out. Rose Nelson and Kayla Harris come in. Taya Davis in as well as Amina Lee takes a seat. Here's Davis, right elbow, kicks out Donaldson, right wing. Drives down, floater with the left hand, it's off glass. Fordham extends the lead 11-4. Hodgkar weaves through 2 defenders down to the right elbow. Into the paint, Shivers left block, kicks out Hodgkar. Hodgkar bumped by Matilda Flood, but called for the travel before. Loyola Chicago looks a little out of whack right now. It's Fordham basketball with momentum.
Travel is always considered a unforced turnover, but in that situation, I think Fordham's intensity so far really has been forcing the extra steps in that situation. Their defense has just been nails this entire first quarter.
It's a 7-0 run for Fordham and a 7-point lead for Fordham. Flood dribbles straight on, wheels around, now kicks out Donaldson. Donaldson with 10 on the shot clock, swings it left. Davis drives inside, stops, kicks out Donaldson. Left elbow two, it's good. Fordham adds to the run, 13-4.
A 9-0 run in the past 2 minutes, and Loyola Chicago hasn't scored in 2.5.
Clock ticks under 5 minutes on our first quarter. This is Emma Nolan, one of the Nolan twins. Hands off for Shivers, the left wing three, that's off left iron. The offensive rebound and put back by Berg won't go. Nolan's third attempt will. Loyola Chicago breaks the scoreless streak. It's 13-6, 4:36. Davis will cross the timeline on the far side. Dribble drive, kicks out Flood, right wing. Davis sent Shivers to the ground, no call. Donaldson left wing. Left elbow two, rolls out. Rose Nelson rushing in for the rebound. Loose ball in the corner, ball rolls out of bounds. Who will this be off of? Nolan and Berg, or Nelson and Berg, excuse me, both making a play for it.
They're gonna call it off on Loyola Chicago, but the Loyola Chicago bench behind us, not bench, sorry, you would think it might be, but it's actually their band behind us, completely irate at that call, but we couldn't have gotten a better view if we tried. That play happening right in front of us, and it seems like the referees made the correct call, but they're gonna go to the monitors to review it. But as it stands right now, Fordham will retain possession with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, it's a perfect time for them to review it because it does take us to our first media timeout of the day. An 11 a.m. matchup here at Henrico Stadium. And Fordham leads 13-6. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV Sports.
Back with you from the Henrico Center, the 8-9 matchup in the Atlantic 10. Fordham leads 13-6, and what a run Fordham went on, a 9-0 run to get this lead. Loyola Chicago gets two back at the end of that run to break the scoreless streak, but Fordham absolutely jumping 7 points out the gate from Taylor Donaldson.
They're looking like they're playing with their season on the line, which is exactly what they're doing, but you're seeing
might
it.
be.
They just might be, and the intensity is so good, especially on the boards. I mean, we're not even through the first quarter yet. They're up to 8 rebounds with 5 offensive rebounds. That is the kind of stuff that extends plays and gets you better looks. But for Fordham, it's been funny because they've honestly been missing those easy layups under the basket, but luckily enough, they have that height advantage, which we can't say with them with a lot of other teams in the A10, but with Loyola, they lack height a little bit more than other teams, and Fordham is the same. But under the basket, Amina Lee has just been incredible, being able to grab her own misses, kick it back out, and restart a play, and on that restart, Fordham has been exceptional.
Fordham has been very solid on the boards all season long, but especially on the offensive end. They're now 4th in the A10 in offensive rebounds, and you look at the last 3 games averaging 17.3 offensive rebounds, and that is something that's really helped them in a lot of these tight games. You think of the offensive rebounds in the St. Joe's game, gave them some second chance opportunities, helped them pull off that upset win, and coming out the gate here with some strong rebounding. Inbound into Davis. Davis straight on, dribbles left, now swings it back McGurk. McGurk up top. To Rose Nelson straight on, gives it back for Davis at the logo. 10 on the shot clock. Clock ticks under 4 on the game. Davis uses the Harris screen, shot clock down to 4. Davis tries to split 2 defenders, she's knocked down, and her bounce pass out of bounds. That'll be a turnover and Loyola Chicago ball. Davis led the A10 in turnovers this year with 94, made up for it with 91 assists. Loyola Chicago breaks the press. This is Berg back to Emma Nolan. Nolan swings it left for Chivers. McGurk giving Chivers the left hand. She bounces straight on for Gallinopoulos. Right wing Nolan. To Gallinopoulos, left wing corner Chivers. Chivers drives the baseline, stops on the block. She's blocked by Mandy McGurk. Gets her own ball back, tries to kick out, and does. Berg straight on for three, wide open, it's off. Hayford the rebound, running with some speed. Weaving through the left side, stops, wheels around, the floater won't go. Berg the rebound, she'll run up the far side. Nelson's back, Berg picks up the dribble, bounces back for Chivers. Chivers guarded by Hayford now. Stops in the left wing, low post pass for Nolan. On the block, she's blocked from behind by McGurk. Back out Gallinopoulos. Free throw line jumper, it's good. Loyola Chicago back within 5, 13-8. 2:43 to go in our first quarter. Davis lobs it ahead to McGurk, straight on Nelson, splits the middle, floater from the paint off glass. 15-8, Fordham leads.
Rose Nelson does an exceptional job there, recognizing the defense, seeing the gap in the paint, splitting the defenders and hitting it off the glass and in.
Here's Hodge Carr down to the block. The jumper from 4 feet out goes in. So Loyola Chicago answers right back. It's 15-10, 2:13 to go in our inaugural quarter. Nelson ahead to McGurk, near side. Cross corner for Harris. Goes near corner, Amy Hayford. Takes a bump from Nolan, able to get it back out to Nelson. Nelson drives in, looking for Kayla Harris down the block, but an errant pass goes behind her and Loyola Chicago ball.
Tough situation for Rose Nelson there. Gets contact as soon as the ball is about to leave her hands. Probably affected where the ball ended up, which is wide out of bounds, not even really close to Kayla Harris, but there, just a lot of defense from Loyola. They're picking up their intensity in the second half of this first quarter.
Minute 58, first quarter, Fordham leads 15-10. Here's Hodge Carr sprinting left, shovels into the corner for Fisher. We've got whistles off ball.
I believe it was an illegal screen there. That's something Loyola Chicago has been really putting an emphasis on offensively, is setting screens, trying to get Gallinopoulos and Fisher open, but they're just got a little too aggressive.
Nelson is out for Fordham. Amanat Ali comes back in. This is Hayford up top, a minute 45. Donaldson right wing, straight on Flood. Flood pumps, now back to Donaldson. Right wing, takes the three. A bit too strong. Securing the rebound to Leah Moore. Ahead to Gallinopoulos with speed. Continues to drive, inside, won't get the finish, but draws the foul. Gallinopoulos aggressive in transition, takes it all the way down and gets herself to the line.
Gallinopoulos will have the chance for the first 2 free throws in their Atlantic tournament campaign. A good foul there because Gallinopoulos was full head of steam forward for an open layup. It's good that Gallinopoulos will have to earn those points from the charity stripe now.
Gallinopoulos, the longest tenured Rambler on this squad as she buries the first free throw. This is her 5th season. She's been a starter for 4 years, a mainstay in this Rambler program. Second free throw, rolls in, cuts the Fordham lead to 3 with a minute 27. Loyola Chicago has continued to pressure both sides, applying defensive pressure early. That was a key for Bridgette Mitchell, apparently also a key for Allison Guth. Donaldson in the near corner gets tied up and stolen away by Sophia Nolan, this other twin. Ahead to Gallinopoulos, right wing. Nolan straight on. Back to Gallinopoulos in the far corner, straight on Moore. Gallinopoulos right wing, Moore, a screen left. Gallinopoulos drives right, kicks into the corner. McGurk gets a tip on it, and it's stolen by Hayford. Hayford weaves past half court and draws shoulder contact, believe from Sam Gallinopoulos.
You can see there Amy Hayford building frustration, happy to get the foul finally, but she feels that she's been on the receiving end of a lot of contact with no fouls up to that point.
McGurk far corner, back to Donaldson. Flood right arc. Flood drives, tries to kick to the corner, but Flood called for the offensive foul. She sent Aaliyah Moore hard to the ground. Matilda Flood trying to drive through two people there and kick out, and a bit too much contact. 15-12, 47.9 seconds left in our first quarter. Loyola Chicago ball, Fordham full court press. They get it ahead to Tannen. Lobs right for Moore, into the corner, Fisher. Fisher drives, righty floater is good. A contested shot banks in. Loyola Chicago back within one with 34 seconds left in the first. Flood's long pass ahead is tipped by Tannen. Tries to slap it back in play, but they'll say foot was on the line along that near side, so Fordham a lucky break.
When you're facing a full court press like Loyola is implementing right now, you can't telegraph your passes, and you certainly can't telegraph passes that are as long as that one, and that's exactly what happened there. An easy tip for Loyola, but luckily Fordham retains possession.
Shot clock 4 behind the game clock 20 seconds and ticking. Donaldson left wing, drives, floater, off the heel of the rim. Lee tries to tip it back, but called for the over-the-back foul. Loyola Chicago will have ball with 13.3 seconds and the shot clock off.
For Fordham, all you want to do here is just limit them to not scoring in these last 13 seconds because, man, you dominated that first half of that first quarter. The last thing you want is to go into the second down with the first quarter that you had up until the past 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, that's a crucial foul because that's Fordham's fifth. It puts Loyola Chicago in the bonus with just 13 seconds left in the quarter. Aaliyah Moore will be shooting free throws with a chance to give Loyola Chicago their first lead since the opening seconds of this game. Aaliyah Moore, a 66.7% shooter. First one rolls in. We are even at 15, so from a 9-0 run for Fordham to a over 2-minute scoring drought. Second for Moore. Money and nothing but net at that. Loyola Chicago ahead 16-15. The press will still be in effect. Fordham has ball, shot clock off. Clock ticks as the ball into the hands of Hayford. Hayford crosses the timeline, 10 and ticking. Hayford straight on, right wing Donaldson. She's double teamed, pass into the paint. Misconnection with Amina Lee. Donaldson thought Lee would be a bit lower down in the cup, and that ball trails out of bounds. Just 3 seconds left. Flood steals it away off the inbound and puts it in off glass. That's the end of the quarter. Things were not going well for Fordham to close, but Matilda Flood steals the inbound pass and gives Fordham a 1-point lead at first quarter close.
Matilda Flood, after that steal, let out one of the biggest yells I've heard from a Fordham player so far this season. You could feel that they needed that. They needed to stop that run before the first quarter, and they were able to do exactly that.
Well, Fordham leads by 1. It's been some fun A10 basketball, and we've got 3 more quarters for you. But after 1 quarter of play, Fordham 17, Loyola Chicago 16. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, this is Jack Curry, WFUV class of 1986. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to One-on-One, the Saturday sports call-in show. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Back with you from the Henrico Center, Atlantic 10 Championship Basketball in the 8-9 seed matchup. Here in Virginia, it's Fordham versus Loyola Chicago. Fordham comes in at the 9 seed, and I think this game has been tight as advertised. Fordham leading by 1. It's been a game of runs. Fordham gets out to a 9-0 run early in the first quarter, but Loyola Chicago has come storming back.
Fordham's done exactly what they need to do as far as the game plan coming into today. They forced Loyola Chicago into just 2 3-point field goal attempts, and they've made neither. So they're holding them to 0 for 2 so far. That was on the game plan. That's on the scout sheet. Hold Loyola to as little three-pointers as you can possibly get, because that is what killed them last time. But for Fordham, it's just a matter of converting on the offensive end. They've done a decent job defensively. It's just time to score some points.
They talk about that last game. Loyola Chicago shot 10 of 19 from beyond the arc. That was 3rd best on the season. An early whistle on the sideline inbound. And it looks like that will be going, I believe, against Matilda Flood. No, that will be going against Loyola Chicago, so that's Satori Tannen with the off-ball foul. Baseline inbound for Fordham. Davis baseline inbound. High pass for Donaldson. Donaldson will hand off deep right wing. Davis dribbles straight on, 17 on the shot clock. Davis bounces for Flood, right arc. Lob into the paint for Amanat Ali. And Amanat Ali not able to get up there and get a hand on it. Pass trails out of bounds.
Feels like Fordham needs to go away from that game plan of just trying to hammer it home to Amina Lee over and over again in the paint. It feels like most of the turnovers on the offensive end has been a result of trying to get it to Lee in the paint.
17-16 the Fordham lead, just 30 seconds into our second quarter. Fisher, free throw line jumper, misses the rim entirely. Donaldson will take it ahead, moving with speed, goes far corner for Flood. This is a 2 and it bounces out. Flood fighting for the offensive rebound, won't get it as Bergs controls it on a secondary effort. Gallinopoulos pinching her thumb and index finger together as she signals the play. A minute into our second quarter, Loyola trails by 1. Hodgcar drives the baseline down under the basket, finds Gallinopoulos, and the paint floater rolls in. Loyola Chicago up 1. Davis ahead to Hayford, 8:45. Hayford in the paint, kicks out Donaldson. It was tipped by Fisher, but still gets there. Davis straight on. Swings left, Flood. Flood back to Donaldson, top of the key. The handoff for Hayford, wheels around on the left lane. The layup won't roll in. Tannen grabs the rebound, but fully out of bounds. And so Fordham gets an extra possession. And Tannen comically looked down at her feet and realized she was about 3 feet out of bounds. Davis baseline inbound, near corner Donaldson, step back 3, just short. It's tapped into the hands of Lee. Loyola Chicago slapped it into the hands of Amanat Ali. A second chance for Fordham. Davis in the paint, kicks out Flood. Right wing Donaldson meanders over to the free throw line, back to the basket, fades away, and it rolls out. This time, Berg the rebound, Flood all on her grill, tips the initial pass, but her second pass will get there to Hodgcar. Gallinopoulos goes corner for Fisher. Paint for Tannen, working on Lee. Tries to bounce for Hodgcar. Flood gets in the way, and it's off of Flood's body and out of bounds. Flood checks out. Miranda Nyborg, the senior, checks in for the first time today. Fisher baseline inbound, Gallinopoulos right wing. Here's a wheeling Fisher down to the block. Stops, now kicks out Moore. Moore pumps, drives down to the free throw line, hands off for Tannen. It's stolen away by Davis. Fordham takes advantage of a loose ball. Davis, right lane, hangs, can't finish on the block, but grabs her own miss. Amina Lee wide open down low and finishes inside. The vision by Taya Davis.
And that's what makes Taya Davis so important on the court, is when other people can't make that pass to Amina Lee, if there's one player who can, it is certainly Taya Davis.
19-18, the Fordham leads, 7-17 in the second. Hodgcar, charity stripe. Back to the basket, picks up the dribble. Bounce pass for Tannen, left block, and finishes. What a feed by Hodgcar. Well, Chicago back up by 1. A couple pretty passes now on either side. It's Taya Davis with point duties to Donaldson. Davis and Donaldson play catch. Nyborg swings left, Hayford. Hayford to the far corner. Davis goes cross corner for Donaldson. She's doubled. Paint for Lee. Back out Hayford. 5 on the shot clock. Hayford straight on. Dribbles. Kicks out. Davis. Deep left wing 3. Air ball. Way too much power on that shot. Here comes Fisher the other way. Moving with speed. Pumps. Goes up. Completely stifled but draws the foul. Miranda Nyborg was back and called for the hack.
Certainly not the matchup you want if you're Fordham in transition. Miranda Nyborg there in the paint against 2 Loyola Chicago offensive players. Lucky to get the foul there before a layup.
Well, Fisher will go to the line. Loyola Chicago a 1-point lead with 6:29 to go in the second. Fisher's first goes.
Also certainly not the person you want to be fouling. Leads this team in field goal free throw percentage at 81.5%. Definitely one of the best in the A10 there.
And on cue, a 2-for-2 trip to give Loyola a 3-point lead. Alyssa Fisher transferred over from St. Francis Brooklyn. Their athletics program canceled all of their athletics last year, so a couple St. Francis Brooklyn transfers here. Hayford driving in, hangs in the air, but can't finish on the right side. Hodgcar the rebound. Loyola Chicago ball up 3. Gallinopoulos guarded by Taya Davis. A little bit of a size mismatch here. Swings left for Emma Nolan. Into the paint, Gallinopoulos working on Davis. Turns around, the hook will fall. The size advantage comes into play. Loyola Chicago up 5. Davis speeds ahead, free throw line, looking for a bounce to Rose Nelson, but Emma Nolan right there gets in front of it, and then Taya Davis sprinting for the loose ball, has the ball bounce off of her and out of bounds.
Feels like Fordham could benefit from a timeout here. It seems like the offense that they're trying to run is just not working. We've seen turnover after turnover, forced passes, miscommunications. It's just not working ever since halfway through the first quarter for them on the offensive end.
We're nearing our second quarter media timeout, 5:32 and ticking. Hodgcar left wing. Flood switches on, the pass in the paint. Rose Nelson flying out of nowhere to knock the pass away. Davis credited with the steal as she picks it up. Davis, free throw line, kicks out Donaldson left wing. Dribble drive, spins into the paint, now kicks out Davis. Davis on that far side, steps up to the elbow, working on Gallinopoulos. Rose Nelson all alone down inside, reverse layup, finishes off glass. Fordham's back within 3 as the clock ticks under 5 minutes. Here's Gallinopoulos crossing the timeline, bounces over to Moore, fakes the handoff, has it knocked away by Flood, but picks it up on the right wing. Deep right wing 3 is short. Mallory Ramage. Flood the rebound, Davis moves up. 4:37, Davis drives right lane, up with the right hand, a nice finish. Fordham back within 1. 24-23, 4:30 left in our first half. Gallinopoulos up top, uses a Moore screen, 2 switch on to her. Corner for Ramage. Back to Emma Nolan. Cross court, Hodgcar left wing. Spins down to the block. Her pass intercepted by Taya Davis. Fordham will run. Here's Rose Nelson far side. Up on the left block, the tough shot off glass. Rose Nelson driving right at the defender.
Rose Nelson wouldn't have been the first person I would choose or think that would lead this team back to offensive positivity, but certainly what is happening right now, a great layup there by Rose Nelson.
Fordham has regained the lead. Gallinopoulos tries to answer with a paint hook shot, and it falls off the rim. Here's Davis driving, takes contact from Emma Nolan. Her shot is blocked, but they'll call the foul against Emma Nolan. Like Emma Nolan upset. Taya Davis did initiate that contact. But Taya Davis will be going to the line, not before we have a little bit of a stoppage or media timeout. But Fordham has come back. They've taken a lead on the Rose Nelson shot. They lead by 1.
They're being more aggressive, I think, in the paint on those drives. Loyola Chicago, Fordham needs to put Loyola Chicago in a position to be fouling, as Loyola Chicago is doing to Fordham on the other end. And we're seeing that happened so far. The fouls haven't been called yet, but those layups are going through. Those contested layups are being made. And then we see right now getting fouls called. That's going to come. And you look over at the huddle, and Matilda Flood is leading this huddle, and it's
Fordham leads by 1. When we come back, Fordham will be shooting free throws. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Back with you from the Henrico Center. This game continues to be a game of runs. Fordham leads Loyola 25-24, and now it's Fordham on a run, a 6-0 run, coinciding with a 2-minute, 20-second scoreless drought by Loyola Chicago. But no matter which team has gone on a run, neither team has really been able to pull away for a significant time. Maybe Fordham for a little bit early in the first quarter, but it's just been back and forth action here.
They say basketball is a game of runs, and we're seeing it personified so far in this first half. That run by Fordham really spearheaded by 2 Rose Nelson layups, 2 pretty Rose Nelson layups at that, with the reverse lay with the first one and a contested conversion with the second, and then Taya Davis, another layup in the paint, driving in, and that's obviously going to be something Fordham should go back to because that's what's working so far. They aren't shooting particularly well from 3, 1 for 5 so far, but on the defensive end, Fordham has done an exceptional job at limiting Loyola Chicago's three-point chances, still without a three-pointer, 0 for 3 so far for the Ramblers.
You talk about that tough shot by Rose Nelson and the confidence that she's gained this season. When you look at what she did in February, it was only 4 games because she missed a couple, but averaged 6.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds. Davis misses the first free throw. Rose Nelson playing on both sides of the ball with increased confidence.
Absolutely. One of the 4 players who are returning but had the biggest impact last season as far as returning players and showing it now.
Davis misses both free throws. Loyola Chicago moves it ahead. Into the corner. Fisher can't handle the pass. It was a high feed by Allie Berg, and Fordham maybe the recipient of some luck here as they get the ball back after an 0 for 2 trip from the line.
Absolutely some luck there. Loyola Chicago, great ball movement on that push up against the full court press, but unfortunately just a little too strong on that last pass.
McGurk, the long pass intercepted by Berg. Here comes Fisher straight on. Now she'll slow things down up top. Left for Berg. Back to Fisher up top. Into the hands of Gallinopoulos. 10 points today. Hodge Carr drives the baseline. Peak feed for Berg, off glass and in. A pretty feed by Hodge Carr. Loyola Chicago back up by 1. Manny McGurk has picked up her dribble. The full court press. Now they get it ahead to Donaldson. Donaldson slips by 2 defenders. Goes corner for McGurk. Right wing a Hayford. Hayford the 3 rolls out. Tannen the rebound. Gallinopoulos over on the far side. Swings it left for Berg. Passes right, Hodgcar. Hodgcar will drive through two defenders. The layup is a bit wild, but the offensive rebound and put back by Tannen. 3-point lead, Loyola Chicago, 2:25 to go in the second. Donaldson trapped right in front of the half-court line on the far side and knocked to the ground. And we've got whistles and Loyola Chicago ball.
Seemed like they might have called a foul there, but let the play go, and Taylor Donaldson was not ready for the trap double team right next to the sideline. Falls down and throws the ball out of bounds, so it will be Loyola basketball.
Well, the last few plays, Fordham's really struggled with the Loyola full court press. Think back to the Mandy McGurk turnover a couple plays ago. Gallinopoulos passes right for Berg. The paint feed for Tannen, spins around and blocked by Amina Lee. Lee will get ahead to Hayford. Fordham trails by 3. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Hayford driving in. Can't finish inside, but will draw the foul.
Amy Hayford a little frustrated. Had a good look at the basket for the N1 opportunity. Just sails it a little too strong over the basket, but nonetheless, she'll get 2 free throws here.
And even 2 minutes left to go in our first half. It's Gallinopoulos, her second, with the foul. Free throw from Hayford, that one's good. So Fordham's first free throw of the day after an 0-for-2 trip from Taya Davis. Second from Hayford. This one is short. Amina Lee nearly had the offensive rebound, but it's secured by Fisher. 28-26, 1:55 to go in the half. Matilda Flood calling for the reach in right at half court. Third team foul for Fordham. So Loyola Chicago, the far sidelines inbound. And it's Berg, the trigger man, bounces to Chivers. Chivers uses the Tannen screen as she dribbles left. Now drives down, kicks out Berg. Berg stops on the elbow, takes the 2, it's short. Flood secures the rebound. And will meander up ahead. 1:30 to go. Fordham trailing by 2. McGurk up top, passes left Donaldson. Shivers switches on to her, back to the far corner, McGurk. Donaldson up top, 10, the shot clock. Hayford right wing. Uses the Lee screen. Hayford drives inside, floats, and just rolls out it. Toilet bowled around, Lee the offensive rebound. And the follow-up attempt won't go, but draws the foul, this time on Allie Berg. And Amina Lee, a chance to tie it at the line.
What an unlucky roll there from Amy Hayford's shot. Went in the basket and back out, but as we've seen through much of the first quarter, not so much the second quarter, Amina Lee being under the basket ready for the rebound. Fordham, no field goals in the last 2 minutes, 53 seconds, but luckily they get chances on the free throw line recently.
Well, Fordham misses another free throw. This time it's Lee. Here's the second. That one bangs home. 28-27, Loyola ahead. Rose Nelson will pressure the baseline inbound. It's Sophia Nolan far side. She's trapped by Nelson. Nelson and Hayford has some trouble but gets away. Berg down low, Fisher all alone, but travels. Aminata Lee sprinting back. Fisher had some trouble with the pass, and they'll say too many steps.
Incredible hustle there from Amina Lee to get back and force pressure. Yet another travel that was forced by the intensity of the Fordham defense.
Fordham a chance for a 2-for-1 if they hurry. 47 seconds and ticking. Donaldson straight on. Near corner, McGurk wide open. It went off the backboard and out. Nelson secures the offensive rebound and gets it out to Donaldson. Donaldson left wing, shot clock resets. 33 on the game clock, 15 on the shot. Donaldson delays right wing. Nelson screen, bounce to the pick and roll on Nelson. Goes up and off glass. Nelson gives Fordham a lead with 20 seconds to go. Shivers wheeling around. McGurk and Nolan hit the floor. Allie Berg right wing shovels for Moore in the corner. Moore is trapped. 11 seconds, shot clock is off. Berg short corner kicks out Shivers right wing. Straight on Fisher. Fisher drives, splits two defenders, goes up. It's a bit too strong. With 1.8 seconds left, we've got a foul on the floor. Looks to be going against Fordham. So Loyola a chance for an inbounds play to take the lead at halftime.
Incredible defense by Fordham there. The referees missed a very clear and obvious travel call at the beginning of that offensive play, but good on Fordham to not get fazed by that, continue the intensity, and really force Loyola into what's going to be a less than desirable situation here.
1.8 seconds, Loyola in the box. Chivers corner, drives inside at the buzzer, gets it to fall. Drove the baseline, went up the left, and banked it in off glass.
Certainly seems like that's going to hold, but the referee immediately signaling for a review. It looked clean from here, but we are, for the viewers, we are across the court.
And it was about as tight as you can get. My internal clock was screaming, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. But Chivers drove the baseline, got to that line in the paint, then sent it up. And to the naked eye, I think probably got it out with 0.2, 0.1. Looked clean.
About as close as you can get there, and that is a huge momentum booster for Loyola Chicago heading into the halftime break, because Fordham had gone on a run themselves to the half, putting themselves in a good position. This is about as tight as you can get, 29-30. It's just advertised heading into this matchup.
We likely won't know whether or not the shot holds until we come back for the second half, but as of now, it's Loyola Chicago up 30-29. Taylor Donaldson got off to 7 early points, but was held scoreless for the last 15 minutes. Fordham's leading scorer, Rose Nelson, 8 points, 4 for 4 from the field. She's been tough inside.
Absolutely. Able to not be phased by contact underneath. She's made layups under the basket in pretty much any way you can imagine. Reverse layups, contested layups, open layups. She's doing everything she can to convert those offensive opportunities. He's obviously done an incredible job there, 4 for 4, as you mentioned, 8 points.
When you look at Chicago, 8 different players have already scored today, but Gallinopoulos leading the way with 10. It's been a balanced attack, but they're still running through the point guard. They're all 13 point guard that we highlighted at the beginning of the broadcast.
And that's a point of concern for Fordham coming into this matchup, is the fact that Loyola Chicago is a deep scoring team. They have a lot of options that they can kill you with from 3, from underneath, but so far Loyola Chicago opting really pound the paint, get most of their points under the basket, just as Fordham has been doing. And so far it's worked for them. 30 points in the first half, on pace for 60. Obviously not what you aim for, but not anything to gawk at by any means.
It's Atlantic 10 championship basketball in Virginia, the 8-9 seed game between Fordham and Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago a slim 1-point lead as we enter halftime. Because of some technical difficulty, Nick got you to our pregame interview with Bridgette Mitchell, so we'll throw you that, and then once that ends, we talked to Bridgette Mitchell about a month ago, so we'll give you some experts from that, but we'll be back for the start of the second half here on WFUV Sports.
Coach, you end the season with that game against LaSalle. Obviously 23 pointers, it's crazy, but what did you see break down for you guys defensively?
I just think that LaSalle shot the ball really well. They played quite a few of their players had career nights against us, and that's unfortunate to come out and defend the way that we did. But turn a new page, it's tournament, everybody's 0-0, and we're looking to really execute during the tournament, right? We've had so many opportunities and so many different experiences and so many games that we played this season that were close, and just, all these opportunities to learn. And I think that we have learned, and how we ended the regular season is proof of that. So I just want us to go out, play free, play light, and have some fun today.
You've had your fair share of experience as a player with conference tournaments, postseason environments, like neutral site, high stakes. Is there any wisdom that you can impart to the player?
She and her twin sister Sophia transferred over after 3 years at St. John's, playing Big East basketball, a couple runs to the weekend in the Big East tournament. As Loyola up by 2. Flood, cross-court pass, Donaldson, right wing, drives inside, left-hand floater is short. Nelson fighting with all her might for the offensive rebound. And she'll be called for the foul, so 2 straight fouls on Rose Nelson.
Not sure how that was a foul on Rose Nelson. She got her hand caught going for the ball and kind of got slung around by the Loyola Chicago guard there, but nonetheless, foul on Rose Nelson.
Fisher baseline drive, hangs up in the air and banks it in. Flood went up to block the shot. Fisher just hung in the air and gets the shot to fall. Now, Fordham's pass intercepted by Hodge Carr. The press continuing to sporadically give some trouble to Fordham. 40-36 with 5:30 to go in the third. And now Fordham, I believe, will call a timeout here. Now this will be Loyola Chicago ball on the far sideline. Flood checks out. Fisher, the trigger man, into the hands of Chivers. Nolan comes up to set a screen. Hayford evades it. It's Nolan left wing, corner for Fisher, fakes. And stays there. She's harassed by Taylor Donaldson. And that will trigger a timeout by Allison Guth. 6 on the shot clock, 5:12 in the third. The ref will signal this as the media timeout as well, with 12 seconds away from halfway through the third quarter. Loyola Chicago's gotten out to a 4-point lead, and every once in a while this full court press really seems to be giving Fordham some issues.
Absolutely. Fordham usually the one on the pressing end with the forefront forward as far as defensive intensity goes, but Loyola Chicago implementing a press of their own, and Fordham not really used to being on the other side of that, at least in the Atlantic 10, so certainly something they're going to have to work through. They've been trying to work through this entire matchup, but yeah, I mean, you said it best. They've sporadically, hasn't been a consistent struggle to get past the press, but it certainly has worked for Loyola Chicago from time to time.
It's contributed to a 4-point Loyola Chicago lead with 5:12 left to go in the third quarter. Your Fordham Rams trail 40-36, and you're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, this is Jack Curry, WFUV class of 1986. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to One-on-One, the Saturday sports call-in show. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And back with you, Fordham trails by 4. The A10 Women's Basketball Championship Tournament here. Lou Orlando, Julia Moss bringing you Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. Fordham finds themselves trailing by 4 at our media timeout, and towards the end, or towards the middle of that third quarter, kind of got wrapped into talking about the Nolan sisters hailing from St. John's, a couple trips to the Big East tournament, lost to number 1 Marquette at one point. Not a ton of postseason and tournament experience on this roster. I think the most notable would be Alyssa Fisher, won the NEC last year with St. Francis Brooklyn, ended up falling to Duke in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So there's not a ton of postseason experience, but this is a very veteran roster. All 5 of their starters are at least seniors or grad students. They only have 3 freshmen on the roster, only 2 of them play, so a lot of experience here for Loyola Chicago.
And I think that really highlights the difference in strategy in the transfer portal. Loyola Chicago opted to go for students who got playing time at either smaller or comparable schools. Fordham opted for bigger schools with players who didn't get as much playing time.
It's a little ball off the inbound. Hodge Carr has it poked away. Berg gets it back and chucks up the shot. There were only 5 seconds on the shot clock, so Berg rejected on the wing, and this is Fordham ball. 5:05 to go in the third. Inbound to McGurk, back to Nelson, the full court press. Nelson picks up her dribble, swings it ahead to Donaldson. Corner for Hayford. Hayford drives inside. She's tripped up, no call. Fisher speeding ahead, 2-on-2. Fisher drives it on Nelson, blocked by Rose Nelson. Donaldson speeds ahead, right down the middle. Floater from the paint, it rolls in. Fordham back within 2. 40-38, 4:37 left in the third. Fisher far corner. Berg up top, back to Fisher. The paint feed for Emma Nolan, bounces for a cunning Berg. It's stolen by Donaldson. Donaldson streaking down the near side, puts a dribble move on Chivers and goes up with the floater left hand and draws the foul.
Fordham struggled to guard that baseline cut in the first half. Really just any off-ball movement from Loyola Chicago really worked in the favor of the Ramblers, but showed there that they've taken notes, definitely put an emphasis on trying to stop that, and was able to intercept that pass on the cut there and led to a Taylor Donaldson drive and a foul.
Well, we've got another timeout, this time Loyola Chicago. We'll call a timeout before Donaldson's free throws. Taylor Donaldson, we had talked about 7 points early, then held scoreless the remainder of the first half. Well, she's quickly gotten 5 off, and that is sometimes the way it goes with Taylor Donaldson. Other teams put a lot of attention on her, and the radio audience, you can't see this, but she's getting doubled consistently on the wing by this Loyola zone defense. It can be tough to get her open, but she scores in spurts, and you see it in spurts like this.
100%, and you'd think with that double team, Amy Hayford would find her shots a little easier, but she's 3 for 10 so far, 0 for 1 from the beyond the arc, so a little surprising there because Taylor Donaldson is getting the brunt of the defensive attention, leaving what you would think Amy Hayford to kind of get what she wants, but not the case so far. Taylor Donaldson able to work through that double team, work through that pressure, and has done a good job coming out of the halftime break.
Both teams shooting over 40% from the field, Fordham 43, Loyola 41, and it's felt for the most part like a clean and smooth game. I think we were joking a little bit in watching the first round of the A10s, and a couple of those games got a little bit sloppy, especially Dayton versus St. Bonaventure. So sometimes tournament play, neutral site, the game feels weird. There's a certain edge to it that it can incur sloppy play. I think you even saw it last year with Fordham as the 4 seed coming off a double bye, sloppy play in their loss against Richmond. This has been, I think, a pretty clean basketball. Both teams playing their brand. Looks very similar to what we've seen from these teams throughout the regular season.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about that St. Bonaventure game. It certainly was turnover after turnover after turnover. Watching that game was certainly an experience, to say the least. But Fordham and Loyola, 13 turnovers each. But the stat of those turnovers that I want to really key in on is the points off of turnovers, because there's a big discrepancy there. Fordham, 16 points off of the 13 turnovers. Loyola Chicago, only 4. So as far as being able to guard in transition, Fordham has proven their intensity and their defensive effort there has really worked to their favor. And when you're looking at as tight as the score is, that point off a turnover difference really is a huge game changer.
And it's funny, right, when you see the turnovers 13-13, well, Fordham and Loyola Chicago 3 and 4th in turnovers forced per game in the A10. Loyola's 3rd, Fordham's 4th. But as you said, it's Fordham that's been able to take advantage of it, and in a lot of ways that's helped them stay in this game and withstand some of the Loyola runs. In the first half especially have been a game of runs back and forth. Now it's more even play. I think, one team scores, the other team goes down and scores. We're getting more to a even-paced basketball game, which should be exciting down the stretch.
And that's something Coach Bridgette Mitchell said before the game is what went wrong the first time these two teams played each other. She didn't like how they were on the transition, both offensively and defensively. Certainly something that we've seen improve a lot since that last matchup against Loyola Chicago.
Donaldson's first free throw bounces out. Fordham trailing by 2. That was a chance to tie it, and they can only get 1 now. Loyola beat Fordham by 9 earlier in the year. They had a big fourth quarter to help them do it. Donaldson 1 for 2 as she buries the second. It's 40-39 with 4:22 left in the third.
Fordham 3 for 8 from the charity stripe. With a game as close as this is, that's going to be huge.
Berg wheeling around the right wing, sends it back for Chivers in front of the half-court line. The much bigger Hayford up guarding her. Chivers puts a dribble drive move, kicks out in the corner. Emma Nolan for 3. It's off. Flood secures the rebound, sprinting ahead. Bounce pass for Mandy McGurk. And it won't roll in. A great feed by Matilda Flood to find the sprinting Mandy McGurk, and just couldn't finish down low.
An excellent pass to find McGurk streaking down the sideline, but unfortunately just had a little too full of steam there, as there's certainly a discrepancy or a disagreement between referees under the basket of whose ball this is going to be. We have one referee lining Fordham up underneath, another saying it's Loyola's ball. It certainly seemed like it was Fordham's ball, but they're going to give this to Chivers under the basket, and it's going to be Ramblers basketball.
Amina Ali is making me laugh. She was so sure that it was Fordham ball. She was telling her teammates to come back down. Near corner, Fisher drives on Lee, kicks out Chivers left wing. Open for three. It's short. Berg leaps up to try and secure the offensive rebound, but her momentum takes her out of bounds.
Referee at first called that Ramblers basketball, and I've never seen Matilda Flood so shocked before, but immediately changed it back to Fordham ball.
40-39, Loyola ahead. 3:42 left in our third quarter. Donaldson leaves it back from McGurk. Fisher up guarding her. Chivers on Donaldson. It's still McGurk, lobs it for Lee, right elbow, swings left, Hayford, takes the left wing three, it's good, rattles in! Fordham back out by 2 on the three from Amy Hayford. 42-40, 3:15 in the third. Berg harassed by Hayford. Has it slapped away by McGurk, but recovers. Chivers in the deep right slot. Moves straight on, now swings right, Fisher. Back to Chivers left wing. Shovels for Sophia Nolan. Fisher, the deep right wing three, it rolls off. The loose ball, who's gonna come up with it? It's Loyola as Tannen finds it on the ground. Back into the hands of Fisher with a fresh shot clock, 15 and ticking. Passes left for Emma Nolan, far corner Fisher. Paint for Tannen, working on Lee, sends it back out Fisher, the three from the corner, no good. Donaldson brings down the rebound, and now she is swarmed by 2 Loyola Chicago players, Emma Nolan and Kira Chivers. They force the jump ball, and it will be Fordham ball.
Loyola Chicago has just hounded Taylor Donaldson all game long, whether that be setting up an offensive play or just off the rebound. Immediate double team, able to force a jump ball there, but luckily for Fordham, it'll stay with the Rams.
6 boards for Taylor Donaldson. She's had an increased impact rebounding lately. Hayford weaves in, left block floater goes in. What touch with the left hand. 44-40 the Fordham lead.
This game has been so back and forth all game. As soon as one team gets momentum, it seems like the other team immediately responds, but right now, momentum securely with Fordham.
Emma Nolan trying to shovel it past the half-court line, and before she can, we've got a foul called on Fordham on the floor. That puts Loyola Chicago in the bonus with an even 2:06 to go in the third. Kira Chivers going to the line. This is the second quarter that Fordham has sent Loyola Chicago to the bonus. Fordham yet to be in the bonus tonight. Chivers' first free throw falls.
Loyola Chicago doing an excellent job from the charity stripe today. 8 for 8, now 9 for 9 with that Chivers first make. She'll have another one here.
And you compare that to Fordham's 3 of 8 from the line today, which is on par for the way they've been this season. Perfect trip from Chivers. It's 44-42. Fordham 13th in the A10 with a 66.8 charity stripe percentage. Inbound to Taya Davis, back into the hands of Flood off the inbound. Yet to cross the half-court line. Now Davis will as she skips across. Clock ticks under 2 minutes on our third quarter. Davis bounces for Nelson, right elbow extended. Has it swiped away by Fisher. Fisher will run. Davis gets back. Fisher slows it down as she backs behind the three-point line. 1:40 to go in the third. Fisher at the A10 logo at center court. Fisher drives left, inside on Flood. Loose ball, looked like blocked by Flood. Taken away by Taya Davis. McGurk on the far side. Kicks out Donaldson, right wing, straight on Davis. Jabs, drives, kicks, Nelson corner. Matilda Flood wide open for three. Air ball. McGurk swept under to catch the rebound, and then it kicked off her knee and into the hands of Aaliyah Moore. The Loyola band with a couple of air ball chants from Matilda Flood. Fordham up by 2 in the final minute of the third. Emma Nolan, deep right wing. Finds a cutting Gallinopoulos. It's slapped away by McGurk, stolen by Donaldson. Donaldson down the middle, floater from the paint, too strong. The board secured by Mandy McGurk behind the arc. It was batted a couple of times. Davis delays up top, 15 on the shot clock, 37 on the game. 9 on the shot clock, Davis backs away, Nelson comes up to set a screen, 5 and 4 on the shot clock, Davis step back 2, off the heel, Nolan the rebound. 23 seconds, shot clock is off. 44-42, Fordham leads at the close of the third. Gallinopoulos at the logo. 12 and ticking, Donaldson guarding Gallinopoulos. Bounces inside for Fisher, works on Nelson. Spins around, 5 on the clock. Wild with the shot, but the offensive rebound by Moore. She's stifled. McGurk, the half-court heave falls short, and Fordham enters our final frame with a 2-point lead.
Certainly happy for Fordham with the 2 go, not making their shots. 0 of their last 7, 2 of their last 13, haven't scored in just over 2 minutes. So if you're Fordham, you haven't been much better offensively, so you're lucky.
Neither side has scored in the past 2 minutes. It's been a nice couple of defensive stops back to back to back.
And that is kind of what was advertised heading into this game. Fordham incredible defensively. Offense, it's been better, but today showing kind of flashes of earlier in the season. But luckily, Loyola Chicago showing the same exact flashes. If you're Fordham, you have to really patch up those holes offensively, especially 2-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Your whole season is on the line here in the A10 tournament. Got to start making your free throws. Got to start playing clutch minutes because it's going to be a close one.
The 8-9 game, as advertised, coming down to the line. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we've got fourth quarter basketball. It's Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
A10 women's basketball on WFUV Sports. Lou Orlando, my partner, Julia Moss. Fordham leads Loyola Chicago 44-42. We've got 1 quarter left to go here from day 2 of the Atlantic 10 tournament. It's Fordham's first game along with Loyola Chicago. They earned a first-round bye to get the 8-9 game. And Julia, we came in saying it's kind of anyone's guess who comes away winning this game. And in the fourth quarter, I still think we're in the same spot.
Square one, literally square one as far as my thoughts coming into the game. It is a 1-point game. Fourth quarter, A10 basketball. What more could you ask for if you're a fan of either of these teams or just a fan of basketball in general? But for Fordham, it's been pretty much what you expected coming into this game. Taylor Donaldson taking the most shots, 5 for 14. Amy Hayford, 5 for 12, but with 4 fouls, as we mentioned, as we talked about at the break, certainly something to keep an eye on. You don't want your second best player, your second best offensive player to get in foul trouble, especially this late in the game.
Well, Amy Hayford will not be out here to start the fourth quarter, and you mentioned the foul trouble. They're going to need her down the stretch. So certainly something to keep an eye on with Fordham leading by 2. Gallinopoulos, as Loyola Chicago starts with ball. Hodgcar right wing, hands off Gallinopoulos, takes the right wing 3, and it is well short, misses the rim.
And Gallinopoulos comes up limping there, still working out that right ankle. Definitely an awkward 3-point shot that sailed well short of the rim there, but Fordham keeps possession. Gallinopoulos stays on the court.
Gallinopoulos yet to score in the second half. It's Davis up top. Our opening 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. Davis straight on, playing catch with McGurk. Finds Nelson left elbow, jump to catch that one. Feeds Lee down low. Can't finish, but draws the foul, and she'll go to the line.
Using every aspect of that height advantage there. Oh my goodness. Defended as well as she could have possibly been, Amina Lee, but just about 3 inches taller on the defender there, just throws it up, able to get the ball, throw it towards the rim, and gets the foul.
Well, there are a lot of times that Amanat Ali can do things without jumping, and that is one of those things where she just put that shot up and had such extension over her defender. She misses the first free throw. The foul on Berg. 0 for 2 trip from Lee. So it stays 44-42, 9:18 in our final frame. Fisher stands on the A10 logo at center court. She wants a cut from Hodge Carr. She gets it up to the right wing. Back to Fisher straight on. Guarded by Davis. Back to Hodge Carr. Hodge Carr drives to the free throw line, passes across. Gallinopoulos left wing, airballs the three again. Berg tries to save it. She won't be able to, and Gallinopoulos has just looked off. Now 4 for 10 from the field, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. Full court press. Davis tasked with breaking it, and she will with a pass ahead to Lee. It's swatted out of bounds by Tannen, but will stay here for Fordham.
Loyola Chicago has done an excellent job at reading the eyes of the Fordham Rams offense on the press there. That's about the 6th time a pass has been batted.
And Davis wheeling around the arc and has the ball knocked away from her, but staying here. Baseline inbound with 16 on the shot clock, 8:40 on the game. She finds Nelson off a screen, wide open down low, and finishes off glass. 10 points for Rose Nelson. Here's Fisher, right wing. Gallinopoulos up top, 8:25 and ticking, a 4-point lead for Fordham. Gallinopoulos swings right for Hodge Carr, and the pass a little to her left. Hodge Carr couldn't handle it, and Gallinopoulos and Hodge Carr exchanged some words talking about what she needs to do there.
Said you have to break up there. Didn't come up enough on the court to keep that momentum going. Gallinopoulos passed her. She thought she would be, but stopped just short before the pass, sailing out of bounds.
Turnovers remain even, 14 apiece. Taya Davis past the half-court line, 8:05 in our fourth quarter. 15 on shot clock, bounce inside Donaldson, left elbow two. It's short, Hodge Carr the rebound. Hodge will speed ahead. Left wing, feeds the paint for Tannen. Lee right there, hand checking her. The two falls out. Lee falls to the ground, taking some contact from Tannen, and now grabbing her right ankle in a lot of pain. She'll be helped up by Taylor Donaldson, quick signaling to the bench that she is okay. She does not want to come out of this game.
Head coach Bridgetto, I've never seen her jump to the court so quickly. Amelia, a very expressive person just in general, but there, you would have think she just obliterated her ankle with her response. She jogs to the side to the bench there. Made it seem a lot worse than I think what it actually was.
Well, Rose Nelson laughing a bit. I think that point came across that she'd be okay, but we will take a break as she was a little hobbled. They were able to break the half-court line. 7:34 with Fordham a 4-point lead. Deep left wing, finds a cutting down the corner, down to Flood, finds the paint, spins it around, feeds away with the right, and it just rolls out. The lead stays at 4 for Fordham, 7:15 in the fourth. Chivers up top. Blaze back to the far side, now she drives. Back out Emma Nolan. Feeds the paint, it's intercepted by Taylor Donaldson. She wanted a cutting Hodge Carr. Donaldson got in the way. Fordham ball leading by the clock, 7 minutes. Davis feeds right in Donaldson. Post pass, Rose Nelson back to the elbow Flood. Off ball, we've got a foul on the ground. Taylor Donaldson took a hit. I believe that will be from Tannen.
Taylor Donaldson got hit about by, I think, every player just in a Loyola Chicago jersey on her cut on the baseline. So it really depends on who this foul could be called on, but she got.
Give the foul to Emma Nolan. Donaldson took that hit and seemed to be okay, but took a couple steps over to the Fordham bench and then hunched over one of the chairs. And so Fordham will take a timeout and let Donaldson catch her breath. It's been a 13-point game for Taylor Donaldson, followed by 12 from Hayford and 10 from Rose Nelson. Fordham has used that to get out to a 4-point lead, but this fourth quarter has been pretty low scoring. A lot of defensive stops back and forth. A lot of turnovers back and forth. We've seen Loyola Chicago be very sloppy with basketball in this recent stretch.
Well, you say it's a low-scoring fourth quarter. You're absolutely right. Only 2 points scored between the two teams so far.
My goodness.
2 points for Fordham. Loyola Chicago has yet to score a basket in this quarter. But if you're Fordham, you see 0 points from Chicago, and you're not up by more than 2 points because Loyola Chicago and Fordham's been stuck out. Lead for feels like this amount of able to score on these dips that Loyola Chicago is giving you by turnovers, by errant passes. I've seen Loyola Chicago playing a very sloppy fourth quarter, but Fordham struggling to it.
I mean, with these Fordham's bumps, this game win streak was taking advantage of the down stretches that other teams had. And when you look at that St. Joe's, which is, I think, many Fordham's best winner of this season, they would hold Dave Cannon back to 9 minutes and 10 seconds to made. So,
the close game line score out the time 9, but not what we're talking about.
The offense improved. Okay, but by no means is our house. It still has stretches of inconsistency. We were talking before we left for this game. Well, what's basketball needs in order to do well in the A10 tournament? Well, they can't get any offensive shootout. It needs to be defense first. But it doesn't mean that defense can't operate. And I still expect a more sport defense. Have a baseline in the lead for a chance to extend it with 4. So Donaldson, man, they've run a couple plays for her as the trigger man. Iconic ingredient. They use the flare as the trigger man to get her open. Or this line inbound to a bit different. Find McGurk in the far corner. Now seeing Dave Lem free throw line. Now out McGurk. McGurk ain't on. Bounces right for Davis. Davis dribble drive, splits 2, goes up and can't finish. Oh, would have been one shot if it could have fallen.
She's made her though. You think about that Fordham career high she had just a few weeks ago. She was making everything she was putting up, whether it was pretty or not.
25 points versus St. Bonaventure a couple weeks ago. This Donaldson step back 3. It's good. Nothing net. Taylor Donaldson has given Fordham a 7-point lead with 15 to go in the fourth.
And that is the basket you're looking for if you are the Fordham Rams, something to break that 4-point lead. But it looks like you're going to call this a long 2 right now, 48-42. Foot might have been on the line there, but I believe they're going to review it.
They're going to take a look at it, and they will call it a 2. So maybe that takes some of the starch out of that shot. It's still a 6-point lead.
Nonetheless, you break that 4-point rigid kind of standstill you've been at for much of the fourth quarter. Regardless, it's
recently taken up and they've needed to win the 93-83 loss to now 26.6 to lead the minute. Fisher wheels around to the elbow, back out Gallinopoulos, left wing Shivers, drives down Gallinopoulos, 13 on the shot clock. It's Fisher deep right wing. 5:55 in the fourth quarter. Gallinopoulos kicks out Fisher. Fisher collides with Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson speeding ahead and called for the blocking foul. She tried to get set, but basically ran into Fisher on that play.
Really committed a little there. And Gallinopoulos back, both hitting the deck there, but obvious foul called on Taylor Donaldson.
I appreciated the ref helping Donaldson up and making sure
that
her head didn't hit the floor, which would obviously be bad. Shivers. Burke stumbled, but she's back on her feet. Shivers, near short corner. Back behind the 3-point line. 3 on the shot clock. Score pass. Berg, 3 is blocked. Shot clock expires and Fordham ball. Shot clock ran down on Loyola Chicago. Berg unable to get up over Rose Nelson, who's been a block machine this year.
Rose Nelson beeline to her bench, too, to get high fives from every year on the bench there.
And Mitchell well had more. But Tommy sings right, Davis. The Pete in the lead. Davis's pass soars over her head. 5-17. Going the Fordham's lead still at 6. Gallinopoulos will take it up the far side. And McGurk will get a catch as she the back.
McGurk absolutely extended arm against her. He made, it was impossible to react in that contact rate. So from Fordham to defend this quarter.
Last thought in the 8 right there. Davis trouble to leg, step up, drives right lane, shovels for the fish side, and now still down out over back. And that is the case.
At least just 1 foul so far, so nothing to be worried about. Rose Nelson with 2. Donaldson, of course, he should not play very much, or at all, is stuck with 4 fouls.
This one game. Nola's had struggles today, but takes big one. Here's Nelson driving it, sends it to open free, and his line. Now we got a Kalim down, a jump ball signaled, because then go away at Fordham. So less pressure, big force is here at baseline inbound.
Fordham's good as an offensive rebound, just expensive, can't possess.
Just the baseline inbound finds McGurk with wing. 48-45, Fordham leads, 4:11 to play. Now it's Davis, the tip of the A10 logo. Gets the handoff back from Lee, left wing. Straight on McGurk. Uses a lead screen. Hands off Donaldson, steps up, right elbow, 2, no pass down low. Right wing 3, it's off. The offensive rebound attempt to be secure. Donaldson, Nelson came flying as well. I think they'll get a foul on Fordham. Either way, Loyola. Oh, foul just out of bounds. Gallinopoulos takes it up. 3:45 with the Ramblers trailing by 3. Gallinopoulos, right wing 3. It's short. Donaldson on the rebound. Long pass ahead to Lee. Far short corner, now slow things down. Back out to Davis. 3:25. Fisher giving Davis a little bit of space. You can get a line of 4 players on the baseline. Davis only player up. Now Lee comes up to set a screen right. Davis drives, heads, can't finish. And the rebound by Fisher. She'll push up ahead. Ramblers trail by 3. She'll out back to the logo, and even 3 minutes to play. 48-45, Fordham ahead. Berg